Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Brianna Wilson. I'm the founder and occupational therapist behind Freedom and Function located in Austin, Texas. So today I wanted to briefly talk about the concept that you must understand when it comes to stroke recovery, and that is neuroplasticity. Okay, so I actually wrote a blog about this topic, and so I'm going to link it in the description box below. There are actually 10 key principles when it comes to the concept of neuroplasticity, so I strongly encourage you to check out that blog post. It's pretty short, simple, straight to the point, and then I've also provided a link within that blog that can take you to a more detailed explanation of all the different principles. Okay, but for this particular video, I wanted to highlight 4 of the principles, and I'm going to do that by grouping them in 2 and 2. Okay, so let's get started. So let's first start by talking about what exactly is neuroplasticity. So when we're talking about neuroplasticity, what we're referring to is the malleability of the brain's ability to change and adapt in response to disease, injury, the environment, different events, or situations, okay? And so the brain has this powerful ability to rewire itself, to form new neural connections. And so when it comes to stroke recovery, this is a game changer. This is a very important concept to understand. And like I mentioned, there's 10 key principles that allow you to best tap into your brain's ability to change and adapt. And so what I want to highlight, like I said, is 4 of those principles, and I'm going to group them 2 by 2. So the first 2 key principles are going to be specificity and salience, meaning meaningfulness, okay? And so when it comes to your rehabilitation journey, it's very important that the activities that you choose to engage in are very specific, okay, and that they hold some kind of meaningfulness to you, some kind of purpose, and are engaging for you. So the more specific that you can make your training, the better. So you want to do this by picking a goal, a very specific goal, something that's important for you to be able to do, and you're going to break it down. So let's use brushing your teeth as just an example. Maybe that's something important for you. Maybe you can do it with your other hand, but you want to do it with the hand that you've always done it with. Okay, you want to focus on that goal and break it down. So maybe you can just focus on turning on and off the water, picking up the toothbrush, picking up the toothpaste, okay? Squeezing the toothpaste, but just breaking it down into little tiny tasks that are all related to the goal, okay? You want it to be specific. The reason for this is because every movement that we do is made up of complex movements. Most of the time when we do something, we don't really pay attention to all the components involved. So for example, me just reaching for my phone, okay? Did you just see what all had to happen? I had to lift up. I have to maintain this against gravity as well as this. I have to rotate not only my forearm, but the shoulder as well. Extend my fingers, protract the shoulder, meaning reaching forward. There's a lot, and even more that I didn't name, but there's a lot that goes into these movements. So when your goal is to do something very specific, the best training for it is going to be specific training. And so you just want to make sure that when you're doing your training, as you're trying to recover from your stroke, that you make sure that you pick something that's very meaningful for you and you break that task down, okay? The next 2 key principles is repetition and intensity. So it's not enough to just do something a couple of times. You really do have to do it a number of times, and I mean like a very high number of times. The more, the better, okay? You don't want to completely exhaust yourself, especially in the beginning stages because the brain is still healing, right? But you want to make sure that you're putting the appropriate amount of time into your training so that you can get as many repetitions of a task as possible. The same task as many times as possible, and it has to be this just right challenge. It's kind of where challenge meets frustration, okay? So it's very difficult for you to do, but it's possible for you to do, and the more you practice, the better you get at it. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit frustrating, but it's not so frustrating that it's discouraging or it just kills your motivation and confidence to do it, or you're just like, to hell with it, okay? So you just want to do something a number of times, one specific task. Pick something, do it a number of times over and over and over and over again. And you want this task to be something that is challenging for you. If it's simple, it's okay to practice simple things, because the more you do those things, the more simple those things will become as well. But you really do have to challenge your brain in order to facilitate and trigger change in the brain, okay? So I really want you guys to understand that. So if you're interested in learning about the other key principles of neuroplasticity, remember there's 10, I highly encourage you to check out the link in the description box below. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know. And until next time, bye guys.